good afternoon. So, especially to Sir Alan, good afternoon. So, we are the group 4, and this is our focus group discussion, which is about the group activity number 4, entitled the Digital Assessment Tools. So, the first question, or the letter A, which is all about the nature, feature, and use of the digital assessment tools. And letter B is about the factors to consider in selection. And lastly, how to manipulate digital assessment tools. So we will start, or we will begin to Pasco. So I will give the virtual floor to you, Miss Pasco.
Okay. Hola everyone. So I am Sydney Ambasco. Okay. So question number 1. Nature, feature, and use of digital assessment tools. So the key feature of digital assessment is it improves the impact of the teachers to students in the reason that the teachers can tailor their lessons to the best needed or needs of the students with the prevalence of ala ay sabaan kay kung maguwang bro.
Sir Pasco, go on.
Balik ko ha.
Sure.
Okay. Hello everyone. And to you, sir. Nature, feature, and use of digital tools. So the key feature of the digital assessment is it improves the impact of the teacher to the students in the reason that the teachers can tailor their lessons to the best needed. So needs such as sa mga students with the prevalence of remote learning. So the teacher can have the benefits of the modern assessment, especially to the students also. So the next we have the factors to consider in selection. So the educational technology space is endless. Choosing the right education app and tools in the classroom can be a real challenge. However, it doesn't have to be. So there are 3 examples: the obtain teacher and students input. So far too often, school and district administrators purchase digital tools without obtaining input from those who will actually be using the digital tools. So teachers and students, several benefits can stem from these inputs. So teacher can identify how the digital tool will work alongside their curriculum and standards. So next, we have the teachers can evaluate the reporting functionality and features as well as the remediation and scaffolding structures in digital tools. So next, we have how I know how to fire or digital tools. Knowing with how to fire digital tools that are not meeting students' needs adequately can be just as important as hiring the right digital tool. So schools and districts should have formal process in the place for students, teachers, and also the administrator to provide feedback on digital tools on periodic basis. So the last, we have the identify your reason for or hiring digital tools. So schools and districts should begin the process of selecting digital tools by first identifying the needs they are trying to address. So the last is how to manipulate digital assessment tools. So in digital assessments, the best way to manipulate digital assessment is deeper learning. We can use digital assessment to make sure that students can be show their full potentials. So that's all.
Okay, so thank you so much, Miss Pasco. So I'm the next to to answer. So first question is all about the nature, feature, and use of the digital assessment tools. So for me, the nature of the digital assessment tools is, so from the name itself, na um, assessment. So it is to assess using the digital tools. So it is the um, so as what I've experienced using the assessment tools, these are has a set of questions used to conduct tests or exams on a web-based platforms. So it provides learning and can provide different options to assess the students beyond the traditional exam. Next is the feature of the digital assessment tools. So this is the most important point to remember, that creating low takes assessment for that focus the students and always connect to the learning objectives. The first is the functional. Functional, it supports the sending and displaying, processing, and analyzing in an interactive environment. Second is the flexible. It supports the assessment of different types of learning. And third is have the third feature, which is the practical. So it requires the teacher professional development, but it's relatively easy and cost effective to use. And lastly is the useful. It helps to improve the learning by facilitating the timely feedback that focus on the learning outcomes. So lastly is the use of the digital assessment tools. It is used as the formative and even summative assessments that can quickly gather information data. So it can help guide your instruction, can be used to encourage your students that enhance their active learning and organize some activities. In addition, they offer many kind of assessment techniques that let you monitor your students' progress in real time. Second is the factors to consider in selection. So for me, the digital assessment tools organizes the assessment by year levels, curricular levels, and sub-levels. In addition, these digital tools are classified according to a number of the categories. So there are four categories or considerations when choosing or selecting the digital assessment tools. The first one is the relevance. The material has a strong connection or has a strong connection to the curriculum or the topics itself. Third is the navigation. The ease of use and low learning curve is which the teacher is looking for. And third is the customization. So this is the completely flexibility to alter content and settings help you meet students' needs. And fourth is many materials can help you reach students with learning with the special learning needs to access abilities. And lastly is the letter C, how to manipulate digital assessment tools. So there are many digital assessment tools that serve different purposes in the educational environment. So the teachers will find them useful as these tools will help them track their students' progress and provide them more objective feedback and grades. So there are four ways of using the digital assessment tools, or four ways how to manipulate the digital assessment tools. So first one is the gamifying the answers. So which means this gamification platforms helps the teachers build the learning process in a form of a game by creating multiple choice questions or using already existing games, just like the Kahoot, like that. The second is giving instant feedback. So it also gives or it includes activities like quizzes, quick questions, like that. And a good example of this is the Socrative that has an intuitive, colorful, and easy interface for both students and teachers. Third is the talking progress. So this is a software that you will have to that it allows to get the data for the assessment, and this is how you they help the teachers understand exactly where their students are in terms of progress. So fourth and the last is the creating survey-based assessments. So a widely used for student assessments is the Google Forms, as we have experience here in the online classes. Google Forms allows the teachers to create multiple choices that have many questions, right, in the form of a survey and enhanced with images and videos in a few minutes. So that's all. That would be all. That's it. So next will be Josabel Talaob.
Okay, so first we have the nature, feature, and use of digital assessment tools. So first, let's talk about the digital assessment tools. So it is aid in assessing and evaluating student learning and provide different options to assess students beyond the traditional exam. Several tools are available, including grading rubrics, Canvas assignments, or plagiarism detection, self-assessment and peer assessment, surveys, and classroom polling. So there are features of assessment tools. So first, we have the reliability. So the right assessment tool produces the same results over time. So there is a consistency or accuracy in these results. So for example, the students perform the same task, so then such assessment passes as reliable. Then second, we have the validity. So the validity of an assessment boils down to how well it measures the different criteria being tested. So in other words, there is the idea that the test measures what it intends to measure rather. So this means your assessment method should be relevant to the specific context. For example, if you're testing physical strength, so you should not send out a written test. Instead, your test should include physical exercise like push-ups and weight lifting. So third is equitable. So a good assessment tool is equitable. So which means it doesn't favor or disfavor any participant. So there is a fairness. So fair assessments imply that students are tested using methods and procedures most appropriate to them. Then lastly, we have the standardization. So this means it applies consistency to your testing method. So if you're sending out a questionnaire, so it should have the same set of questions for all the participants. Then let's proceed to the factors to consider of digital assessment tools. So first, we have the relevance. So the material has a strong connections to the curricular for the topics you are using it for. So second is the navigation. So it is ease of use and low learning curve is what you are looking for when you try a new tool. You might consider these questions while navigating through the tool. So some questions are the following. So thus the material use the touch screen effectively throughout its use, and is it intuitive to use? Then third, we have the customization. Uh, it is alter content and settings help you meet student needs. So in evaluating such materials, consider these questions like does it offer personalized or adaptive skill levels? Then fourth, we have the interaction. So this means that the students must be deeply engaged and come alive and are more motivated. Then then the last one is we have the accessibility. So many materials can help you reach students with special learning needs to access abilities. In evaluating such materials, we should consider the following questions like, does the material let users personalize the user interface? or thus the material work with accessibility features on the mobile device. So next we have the third one question, which is how to manipulate digital assessment tools. So first, uh, so my answer is the same with Carmela. So first we have the gamifying the answers. Second is giving instant feedback. Third, the tracking progress. And fourth, we have the creating survey-based assessments. That's all.
Okay, so I will continue. Good afternoon once again. So let's start with the A, nature, feature, and use of digital assessment tools. So digital assessment tools is an interactive digital tools that lets you quiz, grade, assess the learners. So these are, there are two assessment tools. Formative assessment tools are the quizzes and in-class questions, while the summative assessment tools are the final essays and tests given at the end of a course, semester, or school year. So they use this to compare students' performance. So next is the feature of assessment tool. So we have we have four features. First is reliability. Next is validity, the idea that the test measure what intends to measure should be relevant to the specific context. Equitable, it doesn't favor or disfavor any participants. It is a fair assessment. Lastly is the standardization, means applying consistency to test the testing methods. The use of digital assessment tools is to ease the lives of both teachers and learners. Next is the factors to consider in selection of digital assessment tools. So first is the purpose of tools. So what is the purpose, man, why we are using this assessment tool? Next is the context. Is it a classroom based, home, or something new based? Next is the tool required or just something extra? Next is individual or collaborative. Is it the tool meant to give students a sense of community, or is it meant for only individual work? And the fifth is the cost and savings. And if is it free or cheaper software, or is it easier to access or have a larger user community? That's what we need to consider. Six is saving time for busy students. Digital tools often save students and teachers more than just cash. And next is familiarity with technology. There should be a consideration about how comfortable the student is with digital tools. Eight is personal and academic interest. Is it important to think about the student's strengths and interests? A tool can either allow a student to push their already strong skills, or the technology is all about removing limitations and building connections. And last is the feedback and practice opportunity. Digital tools can provide students with the chance to take risks with the material they are learning. So next question is how to manipulate digital assessment tools. It is by using these tools in assessing the learner's performance, so it will be tracked down if they do not grasp the lessons that the teacher is giving. It is also to help the learners self-reflection and take control of their own learning. So that would be all. Thank you. Okay, so that's all, sir. I hope you enjoy our FGD, focal group discussion. Thank you. Okay. So this will be the template nga amo ang i-use for our graphic organizer. Okay.
Yes, that's yes sir. So kanina lang ato agay sa